The new Supreme Court justice will be black. But just how black?
Mr. Reagan.
We know Biden will nominate a black woman to the Supreme Court. So the important question now is, what shade of black should she be? And I am literally going to rate the various potential nominees by skin tone in one moment. First, I have to sell you something. It's a new year and not much has changed. Houses are still selling in like a week. Interest rates are at zero. Our government is still borrowing money. Printing money. $5 trillion to be exact. What could possibly go wrong? Meanwhile, consumer confidence has hit a 10-year low. Inflation's hit 6.8%, with parts of the U.S. seeing rates as high as 8%. Something is not adding up. So what can you do? Well, you can play it safe. Put some of your assets in precious metals. This will keep your money away from the volatility of the markets. It'll keep it away from inflation, and it will let you sleep at night. Now this month, Noble Gold is giving away a free 1/10 ounce solid gold American Eagle coin with any qualifying plan that you start. So talk to an expert at Noble Gold and they'll run you through your options for keeping your money safe. There's no pressure, there's no hassle, there's no call centers. You just get a chance to speak with somebody who knows what they're talking about for once. How refreshing is that? Call Noble Gold at 877-646-5347 or visit their website at noblegoldinvestments.com. That's noblegoldinvestments.com. Biden announced during his presidential bid in 2020 that he will nominate the first black woman to the Supreme Court.
I committed that if I'm elected president and have an opportunity to appoint someone to the courts, I'll appoint the first black woman to the courts.
Now, it should be noted that this is 100% illegal. Title VII of the Civil Rights Act of 1964 states, "It shall be an unlawful employment practice for an employer to fail or refuse to hire or to discharge any individual or otherwise to discriminate against any individual with respect to his compensation, terms, conditions, or privileges of employment because of such individual's race, color, religion, sex, or national origin." But Biden doesn't limit himself to what's legal and illegal. Biden is a rebel. He's a maverick. Biden makes his own rules. In fact, this complete dismissal of constitutional law is something Biden recently reiterated.
The person I will nominate will be someone with extraordinary qualifications, character, experience, and integrity. And that person will be the first black woman ever nominated to the United States Supreme Court.
This is a campaign promise that he's apparently keeping. And why wouldn't he? Race, after all, is the #1 qualification of any American for critical jobs in the U.S. government. Black being the race with the very highest judicial qualification. You don't really even need a law degree. Heck, you could be a high school dropout. If you're black, you're already like 90% Supreme Court justice material. Naturally, Biden is choosing the highest value race for the Supreme Court, black. But this is a far more nuanced category than Joe Biden might realize.
What you all know, but most people don't know, unlike the African-American community, with notable exceptions, the Latino community is an incredibly diverse community.
Contrary to popular belief, black people aren't all the same. They just look the same to folks who've never met one. And if you've not met a black, I highly recommend it. They are fascinating. Here are the women that people who follow this stuff are speculating are on Biden's list of potential Supreme Court nominees. Ordinarily, these lists are highly speculative and really long, but in this case, there are actually very few black women who would be considered qualified to be a Supreme Court justice, at least to those ignorant Americans who don't understand that being black and a woman alone qualify a person for the Supreme Court, so long as they're a Democrat, of course. Any kind of college degree is overkill, really. But there are some who insist that the person nominated to the Supreme Court have some kind of relevant experience. These people are missing the entire point of choosing a black woman for the Supreme Court. It's not about traditionally white patriarchal qualifications, okay? It's about blackness. And with that in mind, we're going to be assessing the qualifications of Biden's likely Supreme Court nominees, not by oppressive old-fashioned metrics like professionalism, honesty, work ethic, and experience. No. Instead, we're going to be assessing them in a much more progressive way by the shade of their blackness. In order to identify the appropriate shade, I've created this chart. There are many delightful shades of black on here, so let's go through this chart and see where each of the likely nominees land. So, as I said, the list of potential nominees is ridiculously short. It really boils down to just these 3 women. This is District Court Judge J. Michelle Childs. Childs is a graduate of the University of blah, 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 who cares? What we care about is blackness, right, Joe? So here we go. Let's bring out the scale. Okay, immediately I'm getting soy latte. I mean, that is what I'm getting from this photograph. But maybe it's the lighting. Maybe the photographer overexposed the image. So maybe let's give her a rating of caramel macchiato. Still pretty weak. But the shade rating isn't even my gravest concern. Look at that hair. What is she, Pakistani? No, 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 no. Whatever blackness she has, she is intentionally muting it. We can't have this. She's less than soy latte. She's barely brown paper bag. I mean, did this woman even vote for Joe Biden? If not, I'm not sure she's even black.
If you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, then you ain't black.
So no, J. Michelle Childs, you will not be the Supreme Court nominee. Sorry. Next, we've got Judge Leandra Krueger. Now, Judge Krueger is just 45 and already an Associate Supreme Court Justice for the state of California. So if she became a U.S. Supreme Court Justice, she could potentially be on that court for 40 years. Now that is some long-term blackification. But now let's examine her qualifications, her skin color. Judge Krueger is very clearly a caramel macchiato, but Krueger gets a lot of bonus points because just look at those luscious black curls. This is one African American who is not afraid of her black person hair. Heck, she seems almost proud of it. So stunning, so brave. Her mother was a Jamaican immigrant, which is wonderful. This moves her up to at least ebony, I'd say. But then I discovered a couple of disturbing things about Judge Krueger. First of all, there's the little problem of this guy. Who is this, you ask? Oh, this is just her husband. Yes, that's right. This so-called black judge, Leandra Krueger, is in fact married to a white man. What's worse, Krueger isn't even black. She's just half black. Her father is a white man. Jewish, so not the worst kind of white, but still certainly not a black man. So on closer inspection, we see that Judge Krueger, very much like our previous nominee, Judge J. Michelle Childs, isn't even on this scale. We need to examine her on the partially black scale with Barack and Kamala. So no, Judge Krueger, you will not be on the Supreme Court. Sorry. Next, we've got the D.C. Circuit Court Judge, Ketanji Brown Jackson. Oh man, that is one beautifully dark hue. This woman is an easy ebony. I'd even go so far as to say, yeah, you know what, I'm just going to say it. She is onyx. She's onyx. That is a very impressive hue. And she has got real black people hair. I mean, wow. I am cautiously optimistic here, ladies and gentlemen. She's 51. She's still got a good 3 decades or more with which she can legislate from the bench. And you know what? Let's just get this out of the way now. Both of her parents, black. So Ketanji, full black. All right? Already, this woman is moving into obsidian, a beautiful shade. And though she went to the historically white Harvard, her parents both went to historically black colleges. And I believe the kids would refer to that as baller. She was born in Washington, D.C., very black. She was raised in Miami, where no one ever gets a shade lighter. Am I right? This woman is hovering somewhere between Ink and Wesley Snipes. But then I found her husband. I am so disappointed, Ketanji. You married a white? Really? You had so much blackness going for you, but now you've fallen so far down the scale just because of this one silly mistake. Next thing you know, I'm going to find out you can swim. I don't even think that we can consider you ebony anymore. I'm afraid you're going to go down one more notch. You're walnut. I'm sorry, Miss Jackson. I am for real. I'm not actually for real. This whole video is a poignant joke intended to inspire thoughtful consideration of the use of race as a qualification for employment. But even with a hue as light as walnut, Ketanji, you are the blackest black on the list, and so you win! I predict that Ketanji Brown Jackson will be chosen by Joe Biden to be the next Supreme Court Justice nominee. And it's well-deserved, as the hue of Ketanji Brown Jackson's black skin combined with her female gender makes her extremely well-qualified for the position. So congratulations to you, Ketanji. You will forever be known as the first Supreme Court Justice hired purely because of your race and gender. I mean, I think probably Sotomayor was really the first, but everybody pretended that she was being nominated for other reasons, so that doesn't count. But this time, Biden has made clear the reason behind his choice. So congratulations from all of us who think race and gender are the only important criteria for hiring anyone to any critically important job. Well done, madam. Now, some of you may be confused by this video, as the word progressive used to advocate equality, the idea that we wouldn't hire somebody because of race. But that is so 2009. No. We've progressed well beyond that. Progressive now means that we've progressed beyond antiquated ideas like this one.
I have a dream that my 4 little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character.
Of course, a man would say that. Now, before I end this video, I'd like to make a couple of quick notes. First of all, let's not forget that not all women are the same. Some women are a little bit better than others. I'm, of course, talking about trans women, the bravest and stunningest of all women.
It is man. You need to settle down and mind your business, okay?
And so, despite the fact that we've really only been considering women that have some experience in the legal profession here, transgenderism, much like race or gender, is a qualification that utterly eclipses education or experience. As my Twitter follower Roxy Spinovi put it, will Biden's Supreme Court nominee be a black woman with a vagina or a black woman with a penis? Such a good question, Roxy. I, too, am so confused. My buddy Kurt joked the other day that pregnant women are a lot more attractive to men these days, not because they appear fertile or nurturing, but because they're not trans. I thought that was pretty funny. And let's not forget the blacks that are blacker than black. The transracial blacks. I'll be honest, I'm a little surprised that Rachel Dolezal is not being talked about as a potential nominee. Seems like a rather gross oversight. I mean, this woman was a pioneer. No one braver, no one stunninger. And if you're sitting there and you're watching this video and you're thinking, I don't know about this one, Chris, this seems kind of racist. Yeah, it is racist. That is the point. Well, that's it for me. And remember, it's not that our liberal friends are ignorant. It's just that they're horribly racist. Good night.
Someone very profoundly once said many years ago that if fascism ever comes to America, it'll come in the name of liberalism. And what is fascism? Fascism is private ownership, but total government control and regulation. Well, isn't this the liberal philosophy? The conservative, so-called, is the one that says less government, get off my back, get out of my pocket, and let me have more control of my own destiny.